Hi, what is up, you guys? It's been a minute. Let's see who joins. Hey, guys. So, we are going to talk briefly about the midterms, about what's happening within the Republican Party right now, and then where the party might be going in the future because it needs to be talked about. So, I'm going to give people a minute to pop in if they decide to pop in, and then I will get started in just a moment. So thank you everyone that is here right now. Happy Friday, by the way. It is Friday. We're going into the weekend. And it is nice out right now, at least where I am. We had a hurricane earlier in the day. It's much better now. So that's good news. I'm on the East Coast still. Hello. Why don't I support Tamir Rice? Huh? MAGA from Boston. Why don't I support Tamir Rice? Was that a spammer? Hi from Arkansas. Hi from Louisiana. Okay, what's up, you guys? Hi, I'm glad everyone is here. All right, we'll get started in just a second. Talking about the midterms and where the Republican Party is at right now, because I think they are faulting. So there's that. Just going on Twitter. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for everyone that is joining. Midterms, I've been a little bit silent for a minute, and there's a reason for that. I was not expecting a red wave. They need to step it up for sure. Yeah, Republicans are failing right now. So here's what I think. So first of all, if you would have asked me a few months ago if I was expecting a red tsunami, a red wave, I would have probably told you yes, because that's the only logical answer, right? Like, if you look at all the policy, Republicans have everything on their side right now. They have truth on their side. They have policy on their side. They have everything. Democrats have effed up so bad that everything is literally on the Republican side right now. And if up was up, if down was down, if left was left, and if right was right, then it should have been a red tsunami. But it wasn't. Why wasn't it? That's the big question, right? There's a lot of blame game being pushed around right now. And it's quite silly to me, to be honest with you, because how are you pushing around a blame game right now when we don't even have all the results in? And what was really odd was that I don't even necessarily think that all of it was rigged. I think there are things that need to be looked at. I think there are things that people were attempting to, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? What was interesting, well, first of all, I didn't think there was going to be a red wave. I do think Republicans actually did pretty decently. But it looks like we're getting back the House. There's a lot of new people that have been elected into the Republican Party that I'm excited about. It looks like Kari Lake. I'm doing updates right now. Give me just a second. Okay, it's looking like Kari Lake is still going to take Arizona, I think. But there have been a lot of gains within the Republican Party, but it wasn't the red wave like everyone said it was going to be. So why wasn't it? My opinion? Yeah, at least there's a fair playing field right now. I agree. I think it was a success. But what makes me really suspicious, is all these Republicans that were saying there was going to be this huge red tsunami, and then all of a sudden, the next morning of the election, they're saying that it was all Trump's fault. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a little sus about that. Yeah, that was a failure on the GOP, the fact that there wasn't a red tsunami, because there should have been, given the state of how everything's going right now, but there wasn't. I personally do not think it was Trump's fault. Might he have played a hand in that somehow? Maybe. I'm not really agreeing with what he's doing right now. I'm not really agreeing with how he spent all of his finances. For instance, like he was fundraising for Blake Masters. Every $5 that went to fundraise for Blake Masters, only 5 cents of that $5 actually went to Blake Masters. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with Trump on. And I do think he's kind of acting like a little girl right now. But that being said, I don't think the reason that there wasn't a red wave, I don't think that was solely because of Trump. And all of the Republican pundits right now, Daily Wire, like, I don't know what they're doing. I watched them the night of. I'm a huge fan of the Daily Wire, by the way. I watched the Daily Wire the night of the election, and they were like, there's going to be a red shellacking, a red wave. And then all of a sudden the next morning, all of them, almost like they all talked about it, were like, it was 100% Trump's fault. That's not true. That is BS. Could Trump have done a lot better? Absolutely. Could he have done things a lot differently? Absolutely. Could he be behaving a lot differently right now? Absolutely. But to blame the whole failure on him is just, it's a bit odd to me. It's a bit sus to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm going to tell you. Because I think that you shouldn't rule anyone out right now. I think you should be open to everything right now. And I think that the main priority of everybody on this side of the aisle should be messaging. Should be, how can we fix this so it doesn't happen again? It shouldn't be, oh, this person is the reason. We need to let go of this person. No, how can we all do better? And what did we all do? And I think that Republicans do not understand. Either they're actively sabotaging or they do not understand what they are up against. What you are up against is everything. If you are a young 20-something person, the only messaging you get is liberal messaging. That is the only messaging that's available to you on the media. It's the only messaging that is available to you if you Google. Look at how the Google algorithm works. It props up certain things, it suppresses certain things. There's only one message. There's only one message that is available to you. If you sorry, that was my cat. That wasn't her. There's only one messaging that's available to you if you go to a Barnes & Noble, if you go to a corporate bookstore. There is one message that is being presented to you. They're only getting one message. Yes. So, Miles just said they're getting a jump start on dividing the Republican Party. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's too early to speculate too much. But I don't like it, and it seems really, really sus. And I would advise everyone to just remain open and not shut anyone off. Because here's the thing about Trump. What a lot of people don't know about Trump. When he got in office, it wasn't just the Democrats that tried to sabotage him. It was also establishment Republicans that attempted to sabotage him. It was everyone. So the fact now that all of the more like corporate Republican pundits are all almost like it was coordinated, almost like they talked about it the night before, all came out at the same exact time and spoke against him, it's sus. It's very, very sus, and I don't like it. And isn't this what we talk about often? Transparency, being honest with people, working through things with your audience and being transparent with them, not talking about things behind the scenes and then all coordinating a narrative, because that's what it's feeling like right now with a lot of Republicans. It is feeling like a coordinated narrative, and I do not like that. I don't have evidence to this. I just have a feeling, so I want you guys to know, and I want you to know that I'm honest with you and that I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and what I feel, and I don't like it. I'm not excusing Trump. Believe me, I love Trump. He's acting a bit like a little girl right now. Don't like it. Don't think it's a good look. But I do think he can turn it around. And I do know that he has had everything against him. And I do know that I don't like what I view as corporate neocons are saying right now, because it feels sus and it feels like exactly what we accuse corporate media of doing. And I don't like it. So I am not writing anyone off right now. Everything is on the table right now. And what Republicans need to do is understand what they're up against. They need to understand that every single institution is against them. And young people are getting one message and one message only. You can own the libs all you want. You can laugh at people all you want. You can be proud and cocky that you have the truth on your side. But if you're talking and no one's hearing you, who gets that message? What's the old saying? If a tree falls in the middle of a forest and no one's around, does it make a sound? The same is true for Republicans. If you're talking and no one is listening, are you heard? Same thing. So, does the tree make a noise? We don't know. If no one hears it, does it make a noise? Trump's political era is not over. I'm a lifelong Republican. I will never vote for a guy back. Yeah, and here's another thing too, because this is what happened right on cue. Cannot make this up. Who hated Trump from the very beginning? Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan. Guess who came out lock and step, right on schedule with all the other Republicans who came out against Trump? Guess who came out at the exact same time against Trump? Paul Ryan. He was just giddy. He was just foaming at the mouth that now he's vindicated. I don't like it. I'm just saying I don't like it. I don't have evidence. I just have a feeling I don't like it. The reason it does not make is because people have to hear the noise for it to be noise. Exactly. People have to hear the noise for it to be noise. A lot of Democrats do not hear Republicans. They don't hear the truth. So yeah, we're sitting here cocky that the truth is on our side. We know we're right, and we are right. But they're not hearing us because, sorry, it's my cat. They're not hearing us because the Democrats hold every institution. So they control what people hear. And I'm not saying that we can't break through. I'm not saying that some of our messages don't get heard. But Eva, I swear, what are you doing? Are you back there? You little stinker, get in your house. Do you see her? Eva, sorry about that. No, she doesn't rock all the time. She does rock. She's a cool cat. And she's too smart for her own good. What I am saying is that Republicans have failed at messaging. And Republicans have allowed, I'm talking about Republicans in charge, have allowed all of these institutions to take over. So yes, in a world where up is up and down is down, Republicans should have had a landslide. Eva? I don't know what you're talking about. They should have had a landslide, and they didn't. And I think there's a lot of reasons as to why that happened, but it's not just Donald Trump. We are very tribal. We live in two different realities. So right before the midterms, this is one of the reasons why I went kind of silent, and I really do apologize about that. But I'm really, I've been doing a lot of research recently, and I've been looking into a lot of things, and I'm making a lot of connections. And one of the things leading up into the midterms that I noticed was, so I I follow leftist Twitter and I follow right-leaning Twitter because I like to see what both sides are doing. And you cannot underestimate, you cannot take for granted the fact that we live in two different realities, you guys. Like, we live in two different realities. And the fact that John Fetterman got elected, the fact that people in Pennsylvania elected a dead guy. I don't know if you heard about this, but people in Pennsylvania elected a dead guy. He died, God rest his soul. He passed away, I believe, a month ago. People elected him. That goes to show you that we are not policy driven. We are party driven. We are tribalistic. We live in two different realities. We can't even agree on what is a man and what is a woman. A basic biological fact. What makes you think that we are going to be able to agree on policy? I literally watched, so the debate with John Fetterman and Dr. Oz that should have killed Fetterman's career. Like, and I have the utmost compassion for Fetterman. I really do. I hope he's well. I hope that, but I do not think that he should be in Senate. I don't think so. I think he could do a lot of other things. I don't think that he should be a senator. And as terrible as a candidate as Dr. Oz was, so this is another excuse you'll hear by Republicans. You'll hear, we had terrible candidates. Oh, really? Terrible candidates? Because they elected a dead guy. Look who our president didn't even campaign. So if I'm not buying the terrible candidates excuse. Yes, were those bad candidates? Yeah. I don't like them. I don't claim Dr. Oz as a Republican. I don't. There are other candidates that I didn't really like. But if we're going to sit here and say that bad candidates are the reason that Republicans aren't being elected, and that's the reason we didn't have a red wave, how do you explain the guy that's no longer alive being elected? How do you explain other individuals? And you know what I mean by that. You can't. You can't explain that. That's not an excuse. That's a fraudulent excuse. And that's a denial of the truth. Republicans have to understand what they're up against, and they have to actually fight. And they need humility, and they need to stop being so cocky. There's another thing, too, that happened, and that was it Mitch McConnell who talked about a abortion, like a national abortion ban or something like that right before the midterms? Why would you do that? And here's another thing that Republicans do. They want to win every battle. Every battle we have to win. We have to own every battle. We have to win every battle. And I understand that attitude. But I am 1000% positive that we are in a spiritual battle. This is good versus evil. There's a lot of things going on right now. I don't even think it's Republican, Democrat. It is good versus evil right now. And if you are going to win this battle, you have to look at the long-term goal, and you have to be willing to lose a few battles in order to win the war. We are in a spiritual war, and we need smart war strategies, not just to own the libs all the time. Republicans coming out, and to be fair, there are a lot of pro-life Republicans that were elected into office, and that's great. I like that. I'm a pro-lifer. I used to be pro-choice. I am more and more pro-life every single day, the more I look into this stuff. But I recognize that this is a war. It's not just a battle, it's a war. And there might be districts where you need to pull back on that a little bit. Kathy Hochul won in New York. She was up against Zeldin. He made a really good speech. He said, and this is what's positive in New York, and this is what I wish Republicans would talk about. She won by a pretty narrow margin. Maybe not a narrow margin in a purple or red state, but a very narrow margin by a Republican state. And that tells you something right there. And Zeldin, after he conceded to Kathy, he made a speech and he said, we gained a lot in New York, and they did. New York flipped a few seats. New York almost elected a Republican governor. And he said, if we want to win, we have to appeal to Democrats and independents. And sometimes in certain districts, Republicans go a little bit too hard and you're just feeding into the Democratic lies, or what I call it. So I don't like that Mitch McConnell did that. And here's the thing too, if you're going to call out Donald Trump, you're also going to have to call out the Republicans that are actually in office right now that didn't fund great candidates. So this is where we're at right now. Switch McConnell. So this is where we're at. Republicans need to understand what they're up against. And I've really taken a lot of time to really think about things and to really consider things and to consider how to move forward and how I want to participate in helping and healing. I call it healing. Going forward, I want to empower people. Because what I see, especially from the Democratic Party, are people that just openly vote against themselves. Inflation, yeah, we deserve it because climate change, or, lockdowns, yeah, we deserve it because of this. Like, people think that they deserve things because I want to empower people. We should be empowered. You shouldn't have to walk over homeless bodies to go to the store. You shouldn't have to pay astronomical taxes and not be able to afford to buy a home. Yes, the Republican Party needs repair. And they had 2 years, and I see all these Republicans online complaining about what's happening in Arizona and Nevada. You had 2 years to take this seriously. And maybe they are, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is premature. But yeah, the Republican Party needs repair. They need humility. And what I see happening is, and this is the same thing. So I am in no way a Donald Trump fanatic. If I don't feel that he's the best candidate, I'm not going to vote for him. It is what it is. Like, I'm not, I love him a lot, but if he's not the best candidate, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to publicly endorse him. But I'm also going to wait and see. I'm not just going to automatically say, I don't like how he's behaving right now. He's done. This is over. That, again, feels sus. And what people don't understand about Donald Trump is that when he got in office, it wasn't just Democrats that wanted him out. It was also establishment Republicans that tried to sabotage him. So now that all these people are coming out at the same time, it's almost like they're the liberals and they were just waiting. They were just waiting for a January 6th moment so they could just really drive it in and really tell people, see, I told you so. I told you so. And that's what it feels like Republicans are doing right now, and I don't like it. Don't like it. Anywho, that's how I feel. I feel positive about the midterms. when it got closer to election day, I was like, it's not going to be a red wave. And it's not because of Donald Trump. It's because we literally live in two different worlds. And we have to understand, I'm sorry. We have to understand what we are up against. We are living in two different worlds. You feel the same way about the upcoming runoffs too? I don't know. I think that's a toss-up. I really do. I think it's a toss-up. I think it could go either way. I think it could go either way. So, I don't know about that right now. Trump at least exposed the swamp in Washington. Exactly. And that's what people don't understand. Trump brought so many people to Trump brought me here. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if it wasn't for Trump. That doesn't mean I think he's perfect. That doesn't mean I hold him as an idol. And that doesn't mean that I would vote for him in the next election if I didn't think that he was the best candidate. But I do appreciate what he did for me and what he did for the country. Trump gave a voice and gave hope to people that were disenfranchised, not just by Democrats, but by Republicans too. He gave a voice to those people. He gave them hope again. He helped them, whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's bombastic, emotional, a crybaby, a narcissist, all of those things could be true. But what is also true is that when he was in office, he helped people. He put America first, or at least he tried. Even though he got blocked every step of the way by Democrats and Republicans. So, for that reason, I am not going to automatically turn my back on him because corporate Republicans who live in mansions, who just hang out with each other, I'm not going to just go ahead and automatically listen to them. I'm going to have my own brain and my own intuition. And I'm insulted by all of them. Let me tell you this right now. I'm venting a little bit. I'm insulted that they think they can just come out automatically and all be on the same message, and I'm just going to buy it. Go on the Daily Wire right now. Go on the Daily Wire right now and look at all of their articles. Let's look together. I will read you. And I love the Daily Wire. But this is just, it's so obvious. It is so obvious. Trump follows up attack on DeSantis with bizarre swipe at Youngkin. Trump is 100% responsible for the midterms. That's what the Daily Wire has right now. Trump is 100% responsible for the failure at the midterms. Really? Really? Okay, I'm done. We have to filter the crazies using a centrist filter and fix that pothole down the street. Also ban under 21 concert tickets for the Needles and Duty Band. Okay, thank you. So wait, that was Wall Street Tech. We have to filter the crazies using a centrist filter and fix that pothole down the street. Also ban under 21 concert tickets. That thank you for that super chat, and thank you for that message. That's really funny. Yeah. And what's interesting too, and this is what the message that I would like to send Republicans as well. You know, we were expecting this red wave, like all of a sudden now people are going to start seeing the truth of their policies and then all of a sudden change and vote a certain way. What people need to understand, it took us a very long time to get to this point. A very long time. I worked for the government. I worked, and the gender ideology pushed on teens and kids. I started seeing that in 2012, 2013, when I worked for the city of Denver, Colorado. I worked for it was essentially like a shelter for kids that were abused and neglected, but I worked with at-risk teenagers in Denver, Colorado, and we worked in the projects, and we were a residential facility, and we also had a school, so we were also under the Denver Denver public schools. And the sort of gender ideology, like the things that you're seeing right now, that happened. I saw that for the first time, and it was like 2012, 2013, something like that. So this has been a long time coming where we're at right now. So it's not going to be overnight that it's fixed. It was a long time coming, and it's going to be a process to fix it. It's not going to be all at once. And unfortunately, you know, states like New York that voted Kathy in. So there was a headline, you guys. It was like, it was almost funny. Like, I hope you guys know, when I laugh about stuff and when I'm light about things, it's not because I don't understand the seriousness. It's just because it's so absurd. That's all I can do is laugh. But trust me, I understand the seriousness. This is why I talk to you guys. But New York, there was this story in the New York Post that was basically like, the headline was, the voters of New York are now begging Kathy Hochul to fix crime. Literally a day after the midterms, a day after the people of New York voted Kathy Hochul in office, they're begging her to fix crime. This is the woman that went on television while she was campaigning, calling people that were upset about crime conspiracy theorists. This is where we're at, people. This is where we are at. And another thing I observed going into the midterms was the debate with John Fetterman and Dr. Oz. I think I was starting to tell this before and I got distracted by a chat. So I apologize, but this is where I was going before. So there was this debate with the Senate race in Pennsylvania, which is Dr. Oz and John Fetterman, right? John Fetterman won. The debate should have ended John Fetterman's career. It was an embarrassingly bad debate. It was a terrible debate for John Fetterman. Terrible. Right-leaning media shared the videos from debate, said, you know, Eva, no, move, no, move. Yeah, get in your house. Jeez Louise, I'm sorry. Right-leaning media shared it and was like, you know, and this should have been the end of his political career. It was that bad. It was that embarrassing. It was that painful to watch. After watching this, you're like, there's no way I can vote for this person. But he still won. But let me tell you what I also noticed. So as Republicans were sharing this information, Democrats were also sharing clips from the same debate, saying how John Fetterman killed it. And they had clips where he wasn't as bad. That is how tribal we are right now. That is how much we are not living in the same reality. We can watch the same debate and figure out two different realities from the same debate. So that's what we're up against. And that, in my mind, is the biggest way that Republicans failed, I also, to be honest, I don't trust. I wouldn't put it past, and I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I won't talk about it again because I'm trying to stay on here to get the message out, so I want to be careful about what I say, but I'm going to say it right now. It also wouldn't be put past me if the midterms were a bit sabotaged by the very people that we're supposed to trust, Republicans. And I'm talking about like higher up Republicans that are elected into office. I don't know this. I have no evidence about this. So this is just how I'm feeling. But I would not be surprised if higher up establishment Republicans sort of maybe sabotage the midterms because they don't want America first people to be in office. And you have to remember from the very beginning, it wasn't just Democrats who didn't like Trump. It was also establishment Republicans that didn't like him and didn't want him in office. So just keep that in mind. And who is one of those establishment Republicans? Mr. Paul Ryan himself. And who came out right along with the Daily Wire and right along with everyone else when they said Trump is over, literally prematurely the day after the elections. The same people that tell us when you see a 30-second clip of something, you should probably wait a few days. You should probably wait till all the information comes out before you condemn that clip. Those are the same exact people that say that to us. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to trust them and we're supposed to just turn our backs on Trump because they told us so? Because the midterms were lost? There was a lot of reasons why the midterms were lost, okay? Maybe Trump has to do with some of it. He probably does. I don't know. But it's not 100% his fault. Yeah. And even if it's not, I have no idea. Maybe it's not shenanigans, but it sure looks that way. It sure looks that way. It might not be. I don't know anything. Like, I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know any of that, but that's kind of how it looks. That's kind of how it looks. And I don't appreciate the fact that they're not calling out the other failures. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that comment. So someone said there weren't a lot of winnable races. Yeah, no, there weren't. To be honest, like, I was really happy with the midterms. If everything worked the way it was supposed to, yeah, it should have been a red wave because the Democrats are just ruining the country. So it should have been the red wave. But also understanding with where we're at politically, where we're at as a country, there really weren't a lot of super winnable things. And people are very stuck in their parties. And we should know that. I thought it was a good night. But where I get suspicious is all the pundits that were saying this is going to be a red wave. Even the night of, they were just confident. It's going to be a red wave, red wave, red wave, red wave, red tsunami. It's going to be a shellacking. And then 5 hours later, it was all Trump's fault. That seems a little displaced from reality to me. That's what that feels like. I don't like it. Anyway, but what I see going forward is actually really positive. I don't think they're going to be able to divide the party. I don't think so. I mean, we're going to see what happens. I'm hoping that Trump turns it around a little bit. He is being a bit of a little girl right now. I don't like it, but I also know that he's a human and he's had everything against him. He is coming off as a bitter right now and angry, and I don't think it's a good look, but I'm not writing him off. I'm not going to do that yet. It's super premature, and I'm not going to speak badly of him quite yet, other than the fact that I think he's being a bit much right now, but he's always a bit much. That's just kind of who he is. So I'm not writing anyone off until the midterms. That's when I will write people, or not the midterms, I'm sorry, the primaries. I'm not writing anyone off until the primaries. I want to know who's running. I want to know what they're running on. I want to know what their plan for the future is. And then I'll decide. So what I think going forward, I think I'm very positive. You know, the good news is about the midterms is now all of us, myself included, as someone that tries to talk and online, I think we just need more humility. I think we need to understand what we're up against, and I think we need to be more focused on a vision of the future, not just owning the libs, not just being mad about the past, not just saying what the other party is doing wrong, but giving people a vision and hope for the future and what things could be. So that's what I think the Republican Party needs to do. And also understand, again, what we're up against. There is one narrative that has a hold of every single institution right now. So young people growing up, they get one story. You know, that's the story I got growing up. Joe Biden said he would not change anything. But I try to remain hopeful. The good news is he won't be able to do anything too terrible, because there will actually be a bit of a check and balance in Washington now, because it looks like the Republicans are going to get the House. But that's how I feel. But very optimistic going forward. I just think what we need to do, I am a firm believer, a true believer that most of us agree. I really do think that most of us agree on most things. The issue is, again, people get one narrative. So we just need to talk. We need to keep talking to people. We need to keep living in truth. Truth wins. We are on the side of truth. And truth wins. Truth prevails. I really do believe that. I'm very optimistic for the future. And, you know, I do believe that this is not a political war. This is a spiritual battle. And I don't know if you guys are religious or not. So if you're not, but God is in control and God wins and truth. Oh, wait, here I am. Sorry, you guys. I was able to resume. I like how when I type in the super chat, it gives me a queen emoji. Okay, so I'm so sorry. I was on my cell phone and I knew that I was on borrowed time because my phone was almost dead and then it died when I was talking, which is a super weird omen because of what I was talking about before it died. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I was just getting ready to end it for tonight. You will see more videos from me coming this week. So I am excited about the future with you all. I really do appreciate you guys. And I love you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for continuing to watch, even when my content is just super inconsistent. I appreciate you for coming back and watching and joining and supporting. So thank you very, very much. I am going to head off for the night. You will see much more from me coming next week, and I'm excited. And no matter how much I ranted tonight, I am very optimistic for the future of the GOP and the future of the country. You know, it sometimes it gets a lot worse before it gets better, and unfortunately some people really have to be just kind of smacked in the face a bunch of times with reality before they wisen up to why things are the way that they are. So, and that's just the truth of the matter. So I'm optimistic. I believe in things. I believe in the party. I believe in the country. Thank you so much. Take the pesos I earned today. Oh, you gave me pesos. That's so cool. Thank you so much. Pelosi not being a speaker is again. Exactly. Nancy Pelosi isn't the speaker again. It looks like Carrie Lake is going to be winning, I hope. In Arizona, JD Vance, I was super excited about. Oh, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, super excited about. I am so happy for Arkansas. So Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the new governor of Arkansas, and she is just a fabulous lady, and I'm very happy for them. So lots of good things have come out of the midterms, even though it might not be like the red shellacking that we wanted. It might not be like the red tsunami that some people were saying, but it was a win. So I'm happy about it. Yes, let's pray for Carrie. We're holding out for Carrie. I'm holding out for Lauren Boebert. Her race is really close. She just came out ahead. Oh, I'm also holding out for Los Angeles. I'm holding out for Rick Caruso, who is a Democrat, but he has a really good plan as far as crime and homelessness. So I'm holding out for Los Angeles, holding out for Arizona, Carrie Lake, holding out obviously for the Georgia runoff, and then holding out for for Lauren Boebert's district in Colorado, and then Nevada is obviously we're holding up. That's a whole nother thing. Why are these things taking so long? Why can't we get it together? That's a whole other issue. In North Carolina, Republicans had a great night. That's awesome. Yeah, Republicans, and actually, you guys, if you look at just the popular vote, Republicans had the popular vote. If you look at just the map of how people vote in general, most parts of the country are red. It's the cities. It's the urban areas that are highly Democratic. But if you look at maps and things, the country is red. We're a red country. So again, we'll see what happens, and thank you guys very much. I'll see you later. Bye. How do I turn this off? JP Biblical Series. All right. Bye, you guys. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Bye.